Greetings and salutations, I'm Zook, your lovable Norman, and welcome to Geeks Anonymous's Part 2 of the Free-to-Play Challenge. In this episode, we're going to go over some of the quests and leveling tips that will get you from level 10 to 30 in a breeze without any need for spending your precious earned cash on Ragnarok Online. Now that we're past Novice, I suppose it's time to go over the rules of the challenge. First things first, no VIP. We're not going to be spending any money on Kaffir points in order to get VIP. This buff actually gives you an item drop increase as well as an EXP increase. It's very cheap, only $2.50 worth of Kaffir points, but we're not going to do it. We're also not going to be using any Kaffir items as well. So this includes buffs, this includes halter leads, this includes rental items, anything like that. If we want to use something like that, we have to actually earn it in-game. Now moving on to a more self-imposed challenge here. In Ragnarok Online, you'll be rewarded for daily logging in. Every day that you log in, there will be some sort of reward given to you. In this case, and the last 2 months before this, since July, they have been including the USA flag top piece, which gives you an XP buff as long as you're wearing it. This is great for starting players. However, we're not sure how long this is going to be a daily reward, so we are not going to use it for the purpose of this challenge. We also won't be doing any quest buffs. As you can see, the current event that's going on in Ragnarok Online is the Summer Week Festival. However, we have imposed ourselves another rule that we can't go out of our way to get the XP item buff that you get from that. Normally, you can gather tickets for doing the quests and daily quests at Rachel during the summer week to get these costume bubbles that grant an additional XP buff. We have decided, since you're not going to have access to that all the time, that we will not be using it. And finally, no freebies. We can't accept help from any other players. It's just us, we're on our own. So the first thing that we'll do now that we have access to the eating group is take some of the board quests, but not all of them due to the price of teleportation services. If you have VIP, you can teleport to almost every city in the game through the Warp Portal NPC. However, we don't have access to that, so we're walking. Head over to the eating board quest and select the following monsters to hunt: Hornets, Rockers, Mukas, and Peko-Pekos. Now we're going to march over to Prontera, fight our way through the Sea of Merchants, head to the West Field, and start killing Hornets. After we're done killing the Hornets, we'll head south to the next field where there are Rockers. Now keep in mind that while you're dispatching the Rockers, there is an MVP that looks strikingly like another Rocker. However, this is called a Vocal, and it is usually surrounded by many other Rockers. They are hostile to you in this case because they are summoned by this MVP and they want to wreck your world. And wreck your world they will. So if you see it, try to avoid it. We got a little lost, and let's just say it didn't end well for us. Once you're finished with the Rockers, we're going to head east, back to Prontera Field, and then south. This is where you'll find Mukas and Peko-Pekos. The Mukas are the loud cactus creatures that I'm sure you'll have no problem wanting to kill. The Peko-Pekos, be sure to be careful around these because they can do a bash attack that can do a lot of damage to those with low vitalities. While farming, I usually make my way down to the southern center of this map, where you can find a bunch of yellow herb that will immensely help us during times of need. Once you're finished your run killing the Hornets, Rockers, Mukas, and Peko-Pekos, return to the eating group. Head back to the NPC by the board you selected the quests from, and level up. Repeat this process 1 or 2 more times until you have hit at least base and job level 21. Now that we've achieved job level 21, we make our way to the main instance of Prontera Field where we find Reno, now named Leno. Sometimes. Reno will tell you that he received a job from the church to post flyers in Prontera. Proceed north to Prontera, past the Sea of Merchants, and find this area. Click on the wall to place the flyers. Upon placing the flyers, you'll see Lumin, or Rumen, will tell you that it's not for the Church of Prontera, but for that of Arunafelts. Arunafelts are worshippers of Freya and opposers to the mighty and true god Odin. This is where you're introduced to the conflict between nations. Ignore Lumin's warning, because Zenny is Zenny, and do it anyways. Note that you can click on the other sections of the wall without traveling around. Upon placing the last one, you will be sent to jail by a Prontera guard. Once in jail, speak with Reno and our friend Limey Boy at the eating group, bails us out. The Crusader Merrick agrees to pardon us if we assist the Church of Prontera. Head to the Church of Prontera, where you will seek out Father Rome. The first thing he's going to have you do is hunt Fabre and Lunatics. Now, I know this is much below your level, but the XP reward granted from the quest more than make up for it. Return to Rome and level up. He will then ask you to retrieve 3 of the church's orphans, Raspberry, Blueberry, and Cranberry. They're sprinkled throughout Prontera, so if you're having trouble finding them, remember to check your map for the plus marks. You can also use the Navi to find NPCs, but in this case they're all labeled as Kid, so if you do so, be sure to look for the ones in Prontera. Once you find all 3, return to Rome and once again level up. Speak with Merrick as they appear. At this point, you may notice that putting up flyers is still in your quest log. This is a bug. Simply move it to the inactive list by hitting the eye or right-click and deleting it. You will then be instructed to move back to the field west of Prontera and find a tree marked by a shimmering aura. Speak with Reno when he appears to gain the next quest leading south. If you're not sure how to get there, simply speak with Reno again for auto navigation. Upon arriving on the next map, again interact with the shimmering aura and speak with Reno. Here he will have you quickly dispatch 5 rockers. Bap, 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 bap. Return to Reno and level up. Head east and follow the Navi to 2 spots or head directly to the guard on Prontera Field. After speaking with the guard and banking another level, speak with Reno. Return to the Seature Academy and speak with Spracky? I don't know. Spracky will point you in the direction of the Kaffir employee in Islude, who will then teleport you for free to Payon. Now, if you've been paying attention to the quest dialogue at this point, you are instructed here to look for an old man in Payon. However, this NPC has been removed. To continue this quest, simply speak with the Eden Teleporter, who says that they are interrupting your quest for a more pressing matter, and then they will teleport you directly to Sprack in Seature Academy. Head north a bit and speak with the Crusader NPC we met before, named Merrick. They'll instruct you to head to Alberta and speak with a man there. First go to Islude and speak with the captain and be transported directly to Alberta for free. Then you'll speak with Bedrova, where he informs you that the Freya worshipper has been tracked down to a sunken ship. Speak with Paul just next to the boat you arrived on to be teleported to a special island. Head east a bit, where you will find and speak with Reno and Lumin, and then click the shimmering spots. This will introduce you to Ragnarok Online's dungeon system. If you haven't made a party already, you need to do so at this point by typing /organize and then whatever you would like to name your party in parentheses. Click on the NPC, and first you need to create the dungeon, and then you'll speak with the NPC once more to enter it. This is sometimes labeled differently from NPC to NPC, but overall it will keep the same theme for future dungeons. Upon entering the shipwreck, Lumin will head east while Reno heads west. You are to head north, but soon get interrupted by Reno screaming. You find out that he is afraid of the undead as he is surrounded by skeletons. After assisting Reno, return to the main part of the ship and dispatch more skeletons. You'll notice at this point that the mobs in this dungeon are all passive, so you can actually take your time if you're under-geared. Make your way to the east corridor, where you'll find a long hallway south. Exhaust all of the dialogue from the NPCs and then dispatch of the summoned undead. Once again, exhaust all the NPC dialogue, and you will finish the Sunken Ship instance. Congratulations! Completing this instance should net you enough experience points for you to achieve level 31, which will be the requirement for our next quest, Finding Salty. Hey, you made it through the entire video. Thank you so much for watching, and a like and subscribe would be greatly appreciated. These take a long time to make. And if you'd like to join the lovely pourings here in chat, please join us at twitch.tv/geeksanonymous. And until next time, toodaloo.
Bye-bye.